All right, welcome to Picnic Sports. Neil Dietrich here and Steve Weil. NFL Week 3 about to happen on a Friday. We had a good game last night, Miami and Jacksonville, kind of a battle with Florida. And then we have a game tonight, Boston and Miami Heat. Let's see if the Heat can finish off the Celtics. They're up 3-1. Steve, what did you think about last night's game?
Hated it. I started Minshew in too many fantasy leagues. I really thought the Jaguars were the better football team.
Yeah, you're not the only one, though. I mean, guys like Matthew Berry and a lot of people on big platforms were taking Minshew to win that game.
But I've been on Minshew longer than those guys. Minshew's been my quarterback in fantasy football leagues, all year, for both weeks. So this wasn't a new thing for me. I really thought this was going to be an even better game than he's had already. I thought the Jaguars were going to win easily. I really didn't think Miami was that good of a football team. I mean, I don't think either team is a good football team, but I thought Jaguars were better.
Yeah, so that was my thought process when I was texting you guys, about who to start, and he was asking about Devontae Parker or Cole, and I went with Devontae Parker, and I was kind of like, this could be Fitzmagic night before the game, and I was kind of leaning towards Miami because you're right, they're both kind of bad teams. So so my take on it was, Fitzpatrick, we've seen him in prime time have Fitzmagic games, and I just thought, it could be one of his games. And the Dolphins are 0-2, and the Jags are 1-1, and it's tough to go 0-3. So that was my thought process on that. And I wasn't confident enough to tweet at it, though. I know that. But I was confident enough to lay a $10 bet with you on it, just because, I mean, here's the thing with Fitzpatrick. You made a comment when we were talking about it that, Miami doesn't want to win or else they'd be starting Tua. I kind of disagree. I think maybe the organization doesn't, but the players definitely do, especially Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's running out there making blocks for people. He wants to win. The man loves football, so I couldn't count him out on that game when everybody was taking Minshew. I think the shot at him being an old man or an elder resonated with him a little bit. He had to take it to the kid.
Yeah, I think we'll look back on this game after the season, and Minshew will end up having the better season, and the Jaguars will have a better record. That's my prediction coming out of this terrible prediction on Thursday night.
I was talking to you about this, another reason why I picked Miami, and I have a hard time explaining why I kind of lean towards it in my belief in this law that I'm about to go over, because it's not a real law. It's really just a belief, and it's almost a fallacy to a point, a betting fallacy, where, you flip a coin 3 times and it's tails. There's a good chance that or people's fallacies thinking is that, well, it's got to be heads the next time, right? But that's not. It's still a 50% probability that it's going to be heads.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So
yeah.
mathematically, the theory I was talking about, the law of average, it's not real, but it's still, I still believe in it. And these are two different things, the law of average and the law of large numbers. But I still think I tend to lean towards the law of average and being correct, just because I did door-to-door sales, and you knock on 30 doors, but if you don't talk to a buyer or someone that wants to buy, but then you knock on an additional 20 and you get one. Go ahead.
So I was thinking about this more after we talked about it, and you brought up baseball, and I think that baseball, the reason that baseball and averages work so well is because there's so many games, and the more games you have to average into that final average, the closer it will be to the true average of a player's true batting percentage or a team's true winning percentage. You run the simulation so many times, whereas football, you run the simulation 16 times once a week, And so the law of averages, I think, applies less in a football season compared to a baseball season, just because you just don't have enough repetition to average everything out.
Right. My argument for that is that I think the NFL might be the most competitive league as far as talent goes because of the draft, or at least that's what it's meant to do. The draft is supposed to make it the most competitive league, supposed to make it have the most parity, between competitive teams. So one team can't be, easily predicted to win because, there's a good chance that the other team could win just because of the competitiveness of the league. So the only reason, all right, for the fans that are like freaking out because they don't understand why we're talking about this. One of the reasons why I picked Miami to win last night is because they're 0-2. And I think teams that are 0-2 tend to fight harder or play harder, or, they're due for a win, if you might say. Based on the fact that both teams are equally bad, Jags and Miami, I kind of went with the 0-2 team because they were due for a win. And that was my reasoning for that. But there's a ton of games this weekend that have implications of teams being 0-3. I just feel like you're right, there's only 16 games, but most of the teams that they're trying to win or playing to win will find themselves closer to the medium, which is 8-8, somewhere around there. Maybe 4-10 or 5-9, but somewhere around there.
4-10 is way off from 8-8.
I'm sorry, not 4-10, 6-10.
All right, 6-10.
Yeah. 6-10, right.
Do you wanna transition into some discussion about which 0-2 teams are gonna avoid going 0-3 based on the law of averages?
Yes, thanks for that. So who needs a W this week? 11 teams are 0-2 and have the potential of going 0-3. Miami, they just won last night. They got out of the loss column and into the W column. And Cincinnati, Philly, Atlanta, the New York Giants, Houston, Minnesota, New York Jets, Carolina, Denver, Detroit, and I'm missing one. Houston. Houston.
You said Houston.
Oh shit.
I think you got them all. You got them all.
Okay, got them all. All right, so yeah, that's gonna. I mean, the back's against the wall. I mean, I only picked 3 games that I thought that their backs are against the wall and that they'll win and they'll be 2-1 and 2. 1-2. Go ahead, Steve.
So you think the majority of the 0-2 teams will not follow the law of averages then? So you don't even believe in your own theory, is what I'm trying to point out.
Well, I guess I just pick and choose when I want to believe in the theory, and Miami was one of them.
That makes sense. That's I love it.
Well, let's see what. I knew this was gonna be a tough segment because it's not science, so it's hard to like base anything around it. But it's really just like a gut feeling, and I do believe in the law of average. I do believe if I knock down 50 doors, I've got a better chance of getting that person that's going to buy it versus if I knock down 35. And I do believe teams tend to go towards the middle, 8-8, the average. So let me get the matchups here, and we'll discuss each one if you want. Miami, Jacksonville, Miami won.
Let's specifically talk about the ones that you picked, because those are the ones that I'm interested in.
Okay, so this is tough for me, and I wouldn't bet on this. I don't know. All right, Atlanta +3 at Chicago is interesting to me because it's close, right? Vegas doesn't really know. They're only giving 3 points. This is a must-win for Atlanta. They need to win this game. If they don't win this game, I could see Dan Quinn getting fired right after the game. Chicago's a great team. They're 2-0. Just like it's hard to go 0-3, like you said last night, it's just as hard to go 3-0. And then the New York Giants +3.5 versus San Fran. San Fran just lost a bunch of people, and are the Giants really that bad? I'd like to think that they're not. So I think I would take them 3.5. Minnesota plus 2.5 versus Tennessee. I think Minnesota is roster-wise has the talent to be good. I don't know what's going on, why they're not playing up to caliber, but I don't think they should be 0-2. I think they would win this game plus 2.5. All the other games are really tough because they're not coin flip games. You see what I'm saying? So Denver's getting +6 versus Tampa Bay. That's tough because should Denver be 0-2? They just lost their quarterback. I could see them going 0-3 though here.
Yep.
I could see the Jets going 0-3. And when we go over our parlay later, I could definitely see Houston going 0-3, which is odd because, they tend to go winless for the first couple weeks and then somehow win the division.
I actually think I found the team that you forgot, Detroit.
Miami, Cincinnati, Philly, Atlanta, Houston, New York Giants. No, yeah, Detroit. Okay.
Detroit.
All right, cool.
And we don't think Detroit's going to beat Arizona, right?
What's the point spread on that? I should have wrote all these down. I just wrote down 3 of them.
I don't have it in front of me.
I got
it. Use the internet. So I've got Chicago beating Atlanta, and Atlanta's going to go 0-3. At this point, Atlanta can go 0-16. I don't give a crap. They're frauds. Minnesota is going to go 0-3. I just think Tennessee's the better football team. They can run the ball, and they've been actually tearing it up through the passing game. And Minnesota's defense is terrible. It just hasn't showed up once this season. I've got the Giants also going 0-3. I just think San Francisco is going to – I don't think their backup quarterback is that much of a downgrade from Garoppolo, and he might actually be better as far as a passing quarterback. And so I like San Francisco. They're going to run the ball, and the Giants' defense is pretty bad. And the loss of Saquon might be more significant than we think. And then the Jets are going to go 0-3. They're terrible. They have no football players and no coach to coach a football playerless team. And that's what I got right for my 0-3 teams. Detroit, I picked them to win, but I don't have any faith in that pick. I'm just picking them because I have to stick with them.
Yeah, -5.5 to the Cards. And I think they're at Arizona too.
Yeah, it's in Arizona. It's going to be a tough ask for them to go down to Arizona and beat a better football team.
Does that line make sense to you? Only 5.5 after they Arizona's been playing.
They tied last year, and Detroit's lost 2 games, but Galladay hasn't played yet. So Galladay's in. I don't know. I think that's pretty fair. I think it's going to be closer than people think. Because I'm not picking Detroit because, I don't think they can win. They can definitely win that game. They have the offensive power to, weapons to do it. Galladay, the rookie Swift, Marvin Jones. The question will just be if the defense can stop Kyler, and that might not happen. But we'll see.
Right. Because last podcast we were on the Kyler hype train. It's tough.
But I could see a game where Stafford just outduels Kyler and just scores more points than him. I mean, because Stafford's good for a couple of those games a year where he just comes and outplays the quarterback who's supposed to be better than him.
So you got Detroit winning. So of all these 0-3 teams, these 11 0-3 teams, there's got to be some of these that are, there's got to be some upsets here, right? There's got to be some teams that are going to end up getting their first win, and Detroit's one of them for you.
We can throw out the Cincinnati-Philly game, right? Because they're both 0-2. So one of them is going to be 1-2. So that doesn't even really count.
Right. That is your Philly game, though. What are you thinking? Those are your guys.
Philly has to win, but they might not. Burrow might just be, a really good quarterback, and he might just beat us. I could see us losing that game.
I don't. I think the Eagles would win that game. I don't know if they'll cover 4.5, but they'll get their first W this week. All right, so I think Philly, Atlanta gets their first W. I'm going to say the New York Giants gets their first W. I'm going to say Minnesota gets their first W, and you're saying Detroit. So, and I already said last night Miami.
I also think Carolina's a sneaky upset pick here because Herbert's going to start again. You know, was his first game a fluke? Does he struggle in his second game? Now that he's on tape, is there something that the Panthers defense can kind of figure out and exploit the rookie? And it's hard to go 0-3, right? So they have a really good offense in Carolina. So we'll see if they can match up against that really tough defense from the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't mind that. You know, their Chargers are 6.5 favorites. That's that's crazy. That's a lot. That says a lot about
right?
that says a lot about what they saw out of Herbert. Their defense is good. Their defense gave Kansas City a run for their money. I think that game really boosted their fan base and boosted the people that think they're playing well. Yeah, the Panthers defense, like you said at the beginning of this year, is just awful.
Yeah, it's really bad. Really bad.
They give up so many points, and it would. And then they're out. They don't have McCaffrey either. Remember, so that kind of sucks for their offensive side. All right, so the Jets, they're going to lose. Denver, they don't have their They don't have their starting quarterback. That's unfortunate.
They don't have their number one wide receiver anymore either, too.
Yeah.
The defense is injured. Yeah, it's just all bad things in Denver this year.
The only thing, they're at Denver. They're at Mile High. So the only way I could see it is if Tampa Bay somehow loses the ball, like Tom Brady throws fucking 4 interceptions or something like that, which could collapse.
Yeah.
He could hit that wall you were talking about.
So the only thing that can help Denver win is time, and Tom's got to hit the time wall in the game against Denver.
All right, that's enough of that topic, I guess. I was happy that Miami won last night. I hope I'm happy after the New York Giants get their first win. Atlanta gets their first win. Yeah, and then the coin flip games. I'm taking the points. The 0-3, the 0-2 teams: Atlanta, Giants, and Minnesota. All right, you want to go over your parlay first, then explain why you picked each parlay, and then we'll get Jake on the phone.
Yeah. So we got Houston, Pitt. Houston's getting +4. You said, is Chicago getting +3 or are the Giants getting +3? I was confused about that.
The Giants are getting 3.5, and the Bears are getting 3.
Who's getting the points? Who's getting the points?
The Falcons are getting 3.
The
Falcons are giving up 3.
No, the Bears Giants game. The Giants are getting points because I have it the other.
Giants Niners.
Oh, what's going on here?
That was last week 2.
That makes sense. What did
You took Chicago +3. You took Chicago +3 at Atlanta.
So Chicago's playing. Oh, Atlanta. Okay, I just typed it in wrong in my notes. All right, I'm taking Chicago +3, right? That makes sense. So Houston +4, Chicago +3, Vegas. I'm taking Vegas over New England. Tennessee, I'm taking them in that coin flip, and Green Bay +3. I just think that both number one wide receivers are out for both teams. I'm going to take the quarterback that's playing better right now.
Green Bay, yep.
Yeah. So that's the parlay there. I like Vegas over New England.
Yeah, I like that pick. 5.5 is kind of a lot, and they played well against their opponent last week against New Orleans. So
yeah, and Waller and Jacobs are both practicing today, so they're going to play. And as long as Jacobs is on the field, man, they can really eat the clock up, run the ball down your throat.
I like the pick for you, but not for me because I would never bet with New England. Just because I don't know, man. New England's defense is somehow sneaky good, and I don't know. I like your Chicago pick. All right, Jake's trying to get on. Let me get him on quick to get his parlay. Doesn't say he's in the waiting room, though.
Did you just text us?
All right, this is Jake. He's on his mail route right now. Going to give us a quick 5-game parlay for the weekend. Hey, Jake, how's it going?
What up?
What's going on? How's the United States Postal Service treating you today?
Treating me pretty good, man. It's pretty hot. I'm dying up here.
What are you in an apartment
80
building?
degrees, man.
You're breaking up. Are you don't got any good Wi-Fi connection?
Yeah. Nah, the service is all bad up here. Why, am I pretty bad?
It's gonna be okay. Just give us your 5 games.
All right. My 5 games are hold on. I don't even know my 5 games. All right. My 5 games are, we got Philly -4. I think it's a bounce back week. I like Philly this week, man. They got to get it right. 0-2. Yeah, fly Eagles fly. I like the Cardinals this week to beat up on the bad Lions. I like the Colts. I took the Colts -10. I bought 2 points on them. It started the Colts. I think they just, they're gonna beat up on them. The Jets, they're playing for Trevor. It's over. The season's done. Who do I have on it next, Neil? I don't even know. Who am I missing in my parlay? The Bucks in a get-right game against Denver. They got a backup quarterback. I think Brady's going to come out and have a good game. And then my lock of the week, I gave you Seattle last week. I gave you Pittsburgh week 1. Lock of the week this week is the G-Men. The G-Men. They're going to beat up on San Fran. They're saying players are having anxiety about playing there. No George Kittle, no Jimmy G, no running game, no wide receivers, no offense, no defense, no Nick Bosa. I mean, this is a get-right game for the G-Men. Big game from Golden Tate, and I hate to say it, but Neil's boy Slayton, I think he's good for 2 when he catches 1, so he's gonna have his 2 this week.
I like the pick, Jake.
I
like it. I like the Giants pick. I like the Philly pick. Indy, though, huh? That's kind of that's a lot of points for an 0-2 Jets team to overcome.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they're the Jets. I don't even know if they'll score 10 points. Like the Jets might not put up any points. Indy might just need 2 scores, and that's it. I think Michael Pittman's a sneaky pick in that game, and I think Phillip Rivers has a get-right game, and we'll see. Big Jonathan Taylor game, of course. That's your boy, Neil.
I know.
Morale Cop too.
All right, Jake. We'll let you get back to work, man. Thank you for your 5 parlay. All
right, the only other thing I'd say is I got one more thing, Don't ship through UPS. Don't ship through FedEx. Ship through the United States Post Office, baby. We'll get it done.
So,
I love it.
Buy stamps. Buy stamps. Let's go.
All right, Jake.
Buy stamps, baby. All right, I got to let you guys go.
All right, see you.
All
right, peace.
Later.
All right, Jake's 5 games. New York Giants +4 versus San Fran. Philly -4 versus Cincinnati. Indy -10 versus the Jets. Arizona -5 versus Detroit. And Tampa Bay -5 at Denver. He does buy the half points, he says, so that's why these spreads are like this. So, I could see those picks. We'll see what happens. He needs to pick up his average after going 3-5 last week. What did you think of his picks, Steve? You got any statements on him?
He picked a lot of favorites. That Colts pick's interesting, but the Jets are a terrible football team, so he shouldn't have any trouble with that one.
All right, I'm going to give you guys my 5 parlay. I'm going to go with Washington again, I think for the 3rd straight week, +7 at Cleveland. I just don't think Cleveland is good. Baker Mayfield, I don't believe in Baker Mayfield. The way I lose this is if somehow the Washington football team can't stop the running game, but I think their front 7 can. And if they make Baker Mayfield throw the ball, they will win this game. They could win it, not even cover. They could win this game. In fact, I think they'll win this game. It's the Browns. I also took Pitt -4 versus Houston. I haven't seen anything out of Houston's offense that's going to make me think that they can beat a really strong team like Pittsburgh. I know their schedule is tough, but it's not easier this week, so they go 0-3. Pittsburgh offense is good. Pittsburgh defense is even better. I haven't seen anything out of Houston to make me bet different. In fact, -4 might not be enough points. I don't know. But I guess the only thing I could say for people that is picking Houston is that they have gone 0-2 before and won the division 2 years before. I think they went like 13 wins and then 9 wins after losing the first 3 games or something like that. So they have history on their side. But what I've seen after DeAndre Hopkins has left in that offense, they're struggling. They're struggling. Deshaun Watson's running for his life. And unless he can will his way without getting hurt against a very scary Pittsburgh defense, I just don't see them winning this game. I took Dallas +5 at Seattle. I think Dallas kind of gets going a little bit. I don't know if they'll win at Seattle, but I think they keep it close. They're keeping all these games close and making all these Dallas fans go crazy at the end of these games. So I think +5 is enough points for them to cover. I don't know if they'll win. But you can't sleep on Dak Prescott in that offense. They just have so many weapons. Seattle has a lot of weapons too, and it'll be a good game to watch. I'm excited for this one. Same thing with you, Steve. I'm taking Green Bay +3. I'm taking the better quarterback that's playing right now, right? I mean, it's at New Orleans, but Drew Brees is coming off a loss, which could be New Orleans, could be Drew Brees might be pissed off, and the whole team might be pissed off and looking to dominate. But I'm just going to go with a better quarterback that's playing right now, and I get 3 points.
Yeah, the only thing that scares you in that matchup is that Green Bay's defense might not be that good because they gave up a lot of points to Minnesota. Did they give up a lot of points in the last game? I don't even remember.
Let's see if I can get week 2 up here.
But you'd have to think that even without Michael Thomas, that the Saints defense or the Saints offense is better than Minnesota's offense. So if Green Bay's defense struggles, it might just be a shootout, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have to score more points.
Aaron Rodgers scored 42 against the Lions last week.
But how much do the Lions score against
21?
21. No Galladay. That's pretty respectable. So I don't know. Maybe Green Bay's defense isn't great.
So yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bit scary to bet against New Orleans, especially after a loss because they're pissed off. But you just made my point for me to make me more convinced that Green Bay is going to win. And that's they don't have Michael Thomas, and I think he's, that offense misses him, and now people are going to realize that he's probably the most important figure on that offense.
The Packers don't have Devontae Adams, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I get Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, so that's my only argument right now. I don't really have anything else except I get Aaron Rodgers.
That's good. That's all you need.
I get 3 points. This one was tough for me too, but the way that Patrick Mahomes came back and beat the Chargers at the end of the game, it's going to be tough to beat this team, even if you're Baltimore. So I'm taking KC +3.5 at Baltimore.
Wow.
Yeah, that could go the other way real fast. Baltimore's defense could just dominate, but
yeah, I think Baltimore's defense is next level this year, man.
Me too, and I've been saying it all podcast.
And Kansas City struggled against San Diego. I mean, do we think San Diego's defense is better than Baltimore's? Probably not. I don't know.
This will be a good game too.
Yeah,
this is
it's
gonna be
a
a really good game.
great Monday night game, right?
Yeah. It could come down to a field goal. It could literally come down to a field goal.
Yeah, it could. And both kickers are phenomenal, all right? Tucker and Bucker.
Yeah. So there's my 3.5 points.
So back to the Houston Pitt game. Which Watt brother do you think has a better chance to score a touchdown? Because all three of them are playing in that game. Two of them play on defense, and the other one's a fullback, I think. So
I think TJ Watt. I would put I wonder what that bet is. I wonder if there's like some kind of
an odds on it, which Watt brother scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
So you think TJ is he the defensive guy for the Steelers?
Yes.
I think Derek Watt. They might just give it to him on the goal line one time. You know, if they're down there on the one, a little fullback punch. Yeah, just cause. You know, give him a 1-up on his brothers there. We'll see what happens. It'd be an interesting bet if it existed. I might bet on it. The Derek Watt touchdown.
What a great football family, right?
I know, right?
I think TJ Watt's the better of all of them right now, though. Right now, I mean JJ Watt is bigger and stronger than all three of them put together, I think. But
yeah, if TJ can stay healthier, I mean, he's got a shot to have the better career. His career's been decimated by injury, right? So that's tough.
All right, so we got our pick and parlays. I'm excited for this weekend of football. You got anything else you wanted to share on any of the games, or you want to have a discussion about any of the games?
What about Heat Celtics? You think it's done?
Going back to the law of average, man.
For Celtics, you got Celtics.
I think the Celtics are due for one.
I know I don't see them going out, easy. So it might get one, they might get two more. I might go to 7, but I got Heat in the series. I've had Heat in the whole series, so I'm really excited for a Heat Lakers final. So we'll see what happens. But Denver, are we gonna count Denver out? We did that last time.
Yeah, I know. I don't even want to say anything, Steve, honestly, because I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the NBA, apparently. I like to think that I did. I can see talent. When there's a lot of talent on the floor, it's easy to pick. But now I have no idea.
I think
the Lakers.
I think LeBron's going to put the clamps on him this time around. He did that last night. It looked like Denver was going to pull that one out, but every time it got close, LeBron, did what he could to play defense against Murray and force bad shots, turnovers, stuff like that. So I think LeBron's just gonna, will them to that victory.
Yeah, and they have Dwight Howard too that comes in off the bench and roughs up their Denver's post.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got to deal with two big guys, and he doesn't really get a breather because who else does Denver have? That's
and Jokic hasn't even played good in the last couple games. I see he's careless passes, turnovers. I don't know. It's kind of tough. They really had a shot to win that one game that Anthony Davis won at the buzzer, and let that one slip away. But yeah, who knows if they win the game 3, if they win game 2. So can't even look back like that. But we'll see what happens. Heat Lakers though in the finals looks like we're gonna have it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good series. I hope LeBron gets it. Have you been playing some basketball yourself?
Yeah, we play every Monday, so it's been a long summer of outdoor basketball since we can't be inside the gyms.
Yeah, they just opened up 100% capacity here in Florida today.
Yeah, I saw your story that you were out shooting hoops the other day.
Oh yeah, but that was by myself. Yeah, I was just trying to get back into the game. There was nobody playing. They haven't opened up anything at the gyms or anything like that. But today, the Santos opened up 100% capacity at all the restaurants and bars and everything. So.
All right. So yeah, Florida's going to be first state to close back down again?
I don't know. Let's see. We'll get into that podcast at a different date, maybe.
That's fine.
Maybe after the election. There's a debate next week. There's a debate Tuesday.
Oh, Biden, Trump?
Yeah, that should be interesting.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if I even care to watch a bunch of 70-year-old dudes talk about shit that almost doesn't really affect me. That's sad to say, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in this middle demographic where like nothing that any policymaker puts forward affects my life at all.
Well, you got money in the stocks, right?
Yeah, for my 401k and stuff, but it's whatever. Nothing that we do short term is going to affect my investment strategy for the next 30 years.
Right.
I'm not scared about that. So, be all right. Let's get through the next 4 to 8 years. Maybe we'll vote for a 40-year-old president in 2020 or 2024. See what happens. I don't know. I'm just sick of old people being in charge.
Marginalized old people.
Leave that in, man. Old people are important. Old people are smart. They have a lot of wisdom. But I just don't think that somebody in their 70s should be running the country. There's more people who are not in their 70s. Let's get it closer to the middle. Law of averages.
That's right. Law of averages.
So,
all right.
If you want to sign off on that.
Sign off on that. Law of averages. Meet in the middle. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Picnic Sports. Follow us this weekend. Make sure we win our parlays this weekend.
That's right. And if you're betting on our parlays, pick 4, not 5. We haven't gotten all 5 yet.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Steve, take it easy.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day